Should college athletes be paid is a very controversial subject in the sports field. Joe Nocera of the New York Times writes that college men's basketball and college football make more money than the NBA does. He also states that the salary of 13,877 D1 athletes is $0, while the salary of the top 15 paid college coaches is $53.4 million. While the Big Ten has a sports network program and the Pac-10 and SEC have their own television deals, over half of the colleges lose money on their sports, such as college football. Michael Wilbon of ESPN writes that the ESPN is paying CBS $10.8 billion just to host March Madness from 2011 to 2024. There are some rules for college athletes about being paid. They cannot be bribed or they cannot be given free food or clothing from coaches. The only way they can get paid technically is through scholarships. A Miami booster was thrown in jail for trying to bribe athletes to come to Miami, and Ohio State players were suspended for a couple games for giving away signed jerseys or for selling their signed jerseys. Some players make more money just for their college programs than their whole tuition is. But is that fair that they make that money for companies selling their jerseys and they don't get a dime of it? I'm going to tell you about why college athletes should be paid, why they shouldn't be paid, and what is probably going to happen in the future. First, athletes should be paid because they put in the hard work, dedication, and they put in a lot of time. It is hard to have a job and practice and play football all in the same semester. So they cannot get jobs to pay for their college because college is very expensive for some places. Coaches get paid a lot of money and get paid more than professors do in 1 year than professors could make in an entire lifetime. Greg Doyle, a national columnist, states that Bud Wilkinson, the coach of the Oklahoma Sooners in 1950, made $15,000, and Bob Stoops, the coach of Oklahoma now, makes $4.5 million. After $125 million of renovations, $30,000 or 30,000 extra seats in the stadium, Bob Stoops makes 31 times more than Wilkinson did. That's figuring in inflation. Paul Daugherty of Sports Illustrated states that college is very expensive. For 1 year at Duke is $57,000, a year at Butler is $32,000, a year at Texas is $36,000. That's more than people make in a year. And athletes are expected to pay that without having their own job and just by having a scholarship. Christina Peterson wrote that in her New York Times articles that a Colgate University student had to pay $80,000 in medical bills after her 4 years of college because she didn't know that her college didn't cover her injuries. Some colleges do cover injuries and some colleges don't cover injuries. Now I'm going to tell you why college athletes shouldn't be paid. First of all, college athletes get scholarships for being better at sports than other people that don't get scholarships, while students have to study hard, stay up late, and dedicate themselves just to homework to keep their scholarships. I mean, everyone does not get scholarships, but maybe some people can't afford to go to college, but they're not smart enough to get scholarships. The treatment for college athletes is a lot different. Athletes get chartered buses, they get first class flights, they get special dining halls at their colleges. Athletes might also get favored by teachers and may get extra time to work on something just because they have a game or a track meet or a swim meet or other events. But regular students that don't get their homework done on time could get their grades docked. Daugherty says that the value of college has gone down because students are valuing their athletics more than their academics, and that is making a mockery out of the college. Students are supposed to go to college for a higher education and not to play, or not to just play football. Now, what is the decision? We will probably never know in our lifetime because there are so many pros and cons. Like, is a quarterback that makes tons of money for their college going to get paid more than a swimmer? The swimmer might put in more hours or the same hours, and they dedicate themselves and work hard just for their specific sport. And is that fair to say that the swimmer is less of a person than the quarterback is? Maybe one day college will decide if they should pay athletes, but right now I don't think that's going anywhere. So there are many pros and cons for paying college athletes, like college athletes don't have to get jobs necessarily and will be paid enough just to get through, and also that they get scholarships already. But I know that when I go to college, I'm going to be playing football, and my college is expensive. So I'm hoping that somehow I kind of wish I got paid so I didn't have to pay as much or be in debt when I got out of high school. Now that we have covered athletes should be paid and athletes shouldn't be paid, what do you think should happen?